Hi, Chelsea. Hi, Jerson. Hi, Allison. It's been a good while since I posted a YouTube video. Jerson, because I know you're going to watch this video. You watch every video that I make. I just want to thank you so much um, for watching every video because after you watched my videos and then you were able to land a job, I think was it in 2 weeks? I don't remember the exact day. Was it 10 days? I don't recall at this point. And then like I mailed you the card and then the gift in the mail, and then you wrote in the comment, "Oh my God, I'm gonna watch every video of yours going forward." And I thought you were being sarcastic. To be very honest, I was like, "Well, this guy's a little extreme. Like every video, like literally every video." And then you follow me on Instagram now, and you like every post. And then it's true, every video I posted after that one, you've watched every video, so I really appreciate you. And I wanted to say that the last time you texted me, your English is so good now. I did not recognize you when you texted me on Signal because it's night and day. Like the commitment that you made to learning English on a daily basis ever since you got that job, your um, English writing is very fluent now. I'm not sure if you're using AI or translation. I don't know. Or if it's actually your actual skill level, but I just wanted to say, because I didn't tell you that when you texted me, that I am very proud of you, if it is the case that you wrote that all on your own. Um, and Allison, I did see 4 weeks ago that you commented asking about whether I do New Year's resolutions and that you wanted to know what my plans were for the year either way. Um, I don't really do New Year's resolutions because I don't really do a plan or a goal just because I, just because it's a new year. That doesn't really motivate me or excite me. What I do for the year is I pick a word and I make it my prerogative for the entire year to live my life according to that word. So I think for 2026, the word is probably rejection. Um, yeah, rejection. Because I want to show people that it's all about the numbers. The more you get rejected, the more successful you will be. And the other reason why I don't really do New Year's goals is because I'm a January baby. So it was my birthday last week on January 19. And because my birthday is so close to the new year, uh, my birthday is so close to the new year, I don't really think of my life in terms of the new year. The way my head works is I literally think of my life based on age. Of course, it makes sense because I'm born in January. So I think of it being like when I was 30, when I was 31, when I was 32. Now I'm 31. Yeah. So I want to make this video about my plans for the next 10 years, not just for the coming year, because I've been told by quite a few people that it'd be really nice to publicly share what my plans are and for people to see the progression of my life as I work toward the goal. So apparently people don't want to just see the end result like ta-da. They want to see the behind the scenes. They want to see, oh, who was she before? Um, they want to see that progress. People could relate to that a lot more. It inspires people a lot more and motivates them a lot more because they'll see like, oh, this is who she was in the beginning, and I can relate to her, right? Because she's pretty close to me in terms of my life. And then if she works hard and then she just keeps going, she's just so persistent and takes the action, and then that's where she ended up, then what could I do with my life, right? So I'll share with you what I want to do for the next 5 to 10 years of my life. Um, it's pretty delusional. I call it Operation Household Name. I've actually been planning this since 2021. And what I'm gonna do is I want to first share with you. Okay, I want to first share with you why I'm doing Operation Household Name, and then I'm gonna share with you exactly what household name Operation Household Name is. So actually, so Operation Household Name, it basically started because I was getting bullied at my job, uh, which I just got fired from, what was it, 4 or 5 months ago at this point? 4 months ago. Yeah, I got fired from that job 4 months ago. I was at that job for 6 years. So I got hired at this job in 2019. I was really excited to get this job, all right? And I just want to share that when I got this job, my boss, Adam, I'm going to name him because Adam is a really nice guy. So, and he really made such a huge impact on my life. He really changed my life for the better, and he's just such an extremely nice gentleman even though he fired me in the end. Um, so I want to give him credit and I want to say his actual name, Adam. I really liked Adam. So when he interviewed me in 2019 for my job as the accounting manager at his company, he asked me, "What do you want to do? Where do you the common this he asked me this very common interview question. He asked me, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And at that point in my life, I couldn't answer the question because just a year before I met Adam and was in that interview, I was working at Domino's Pizza, making $7.50 an hour, and I got up to $8 an hour after I could make a pepperoni pizza in 1 minute. All right. So, I mean, so that's where I'm coming from here. I've been working a whole string of minimum wage jobs, people telling me, you can't do it, you can't make more money, people underestimating me. Oh, I'm tearing up, right? I'm sorry. I cry so easily. I'm so sensitive. I know I cried in my YouTube video like 2 videos ago. And then I'm in acting classes now, and my acting teacher says, "You're so sensitive, you can cry on cue." Yeah, I can cry on cue. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Because just thinking about these memories is just a little painful for me and very sad. Anyway, so I was working like this whole string of minimum wage jobs up until the point like a year before I met Adam. And it didn't matter how much I would write on my cover letters, my emails to recruiters, hiring managers that like, hey, I don't have a college degree, or my college degree is just an online degree in communications at that point when I was at Domino's. But I'm gonna be a huge asset to your company. And the reason why I'm gonna be a huge asset to your company is because it doesn't matter what I do, I find a better way to do things. I find a more efficient way to do things. I find a way to look at what you're doing now and I will save you money. This is like 23-year-old Annie, all right? Saying this. I have like no track record. Um, yeah, I'm just saying this, but it's true. I was efficient because you know why? I knew I could say that I could do a better way of doing things, a faster way of doing things, because I took a 4-year bachelor's degree and I finished a bachelor's degree in 1 year and 9 months. I mean, look, if I can like concoct a plan and a strategy to be able to like test out of college and do it for under 10 grand and do it in half the time that everyone else is doing, like, can't I take the same talent and apply it in any scenario? If I manage to save like 30% of my income working minimum wage jobs, and I manage to do that for like 5 years straight, right? I have a track record of looking at a way that, other people spending money. I can save them money if I put my time to it, right? So I would write that on all my cover letters, and I would get rejected all the time. It was not valuable to anybody. Nobody saw its value, and a lot of people underestimated me, quite frankly, right? And I can see why. I mean, when you don't superficially, outwardly have anything going for your life, who's going to believe in you? I believed in me, but nobody else believed in me. All right. So when I sat in that interview and Adam was so excited to talk to me for an hour and a half, the interview was an hour and a half, and he was so excited. And he asked me where I saw myself in 5 years. I said to him, I don't know where I'm going to see myself in 5 years. I don't know where I will be in 5 years because every year of my life has been different. From traveling across the country from New York to Texas, and then from moving to Texas to Boston, graduating college, writing a book. Every single year of my life since I was 18 years old has been completely different from the last year. So I told him, I'm so sorry. I genuinely don't know where I see myself in 5 years because I kind of just go with the flow. I go where life takes me. And probably in 5 years, it would be beyond my wildest dreams. I don't know. I'm really sorry. But I told him what I do know is the only thing that's like the guiding light for me is I want to help people save money. I want to help people with their finances. I want to help people become financially independent and or wealthy. I know for that, like that's gonna be the truth. That's always gonna be the guiding light for me. But how I'm gonna do that, how I'm gonna execute that, I don't really know. Uh, so yeah, he hired me, and he was so nice. He was so nice. I swear, like just a couple months into me working there, because I had so many ideas for how to improve the way he's already doing things, and he was all ears. He let me implement all of my ideas. I mean, can you imagine letting like a 24, 25-year-old woman with very little experience working in an office come in and start telling you how to run your office? I mean, looking back at it, like I didn't really see it with that perspective, but now I'm looking back, I'm like, yeah, like here's this guy, he's in his 40s and he's just like hiring this like punk, right? And she's telling everyone else like how to do it better. I can see that, right? And he was like all on board. He was like all in with all of my ideas and he let me implement it. And he was really grateful for all the things I was doing because I was really passionate about doing it. Because finally, somebody did not underestimate me. Finally, somebody did see my potential. He really believed in me and he saw the full potential. Like, he really believed I could go far. And he put his money where his mouth was, right? And so that was really important to me and it helped me build my self esteem and my self confidence because he gave me those opportunities and he trusted me. Um, and he never once yelled at me if I made a mistake. He was very soft and caring. And I remember a couple months into this job, because he was so grateful, he walked up to my desk in front of everybody. He walked up to my desk and he says, Annie, I want to buy you lunch. And then I'm like, oh, I already, I'm really frugal. I pack my own lunch to work every day, like no matter what. There was not a single day I ever ate out for lunch. I was very, very strict on that. And so I said to him, no, I already brought my own lunch today, but thank you. Oh, well, I'm just gonna ask you again tomorrow. He asked me again tomorrow. I brought my own lunch. I said, no, thank you. And then he said, I'm going to be really persistent and I'm going to keep asking you what I can buy you for lunch until you say yes. And then I said, oh, okay. He came back the next day and asked me, I want to buy you lunch. And then I was like, I feel really uncomfortable. I don't want you to buy me lunch, but thank you. Thank you for the offer. I don't want to take you up on the offer. And then he again said, I'm a really persistent person and I'm going to keep asking until you say yes. He continued this for 5 days. And then, yeah, on the fifth day, I was getting a little fed up and impatient. And then, so that's when I finally asked, why do you want to buy me lunch? Like, why are you so persistent? And why, yeah, what is this? I don't get it. I can bring my own lunch. I don't know why you want to give me stuff. And it's really embarrassing for me. I told him this is so embarrassing because this is an open office. Everybody in the office hears him 5 days straight offering to buy me lunch. And I said, you didn't offer her lunch, you didn't offer him lunch. You're only coming to my desk offering me lunch. And I feel really uncomfortable and I have my own lunch. Um, and yeah, I don't, and I said, besides, I'm really frugal and I'm watching your company finances. I don't want you to spend money needlessly on me. It's just, it's not necessary. All right. If there is a reason to spend money on me, do it. But there's no reason to spend the money to buy me lunch. Just save yourself the money. I was always in the mentality of like, other people shouldn't buy me things, shouldn't give me things because they should just save the money. It's not needed. And he said that he wanted to just show me his appreciation and that he didn't know how else to show me just how much he appreciated all the work that I was doing for him. And I said, there's different love languages, right? And one of them is gift giving. I said, I'm not the kind of person who receives gifts. That's not really my love language. I said to him, if you want to show me your appreciation, I'm very verbal. So just, saying the words to me in like a private one-on-one meeting of, I really appreciate all the work you do. Thank you. Like that is just more than enough for me. He never said those words. Or he did say them, but not very often. I think in our 6 years working together, he probably said it only like 5 times. He didn't really express himself through words. I know a lot of men are like that. They don't express themselves through words, but they know how to use their money to buy stuff, right? But yeah, he never really said it. Yeah, so then after that incident, I remember telling him in a meeting that I have driving anxiety. So we have this driveway for the office, and then I would park up front and then I would have to reverse out of the driveway onto like the traffic from the road, like I have back up and then go. And I told him I get a lot of anxiety because I cannot see if I'm turning like into traffic. I cannot see if a car is coming and I'm really scared a car is going to hit me as I'm trying to back out of the driveway. Uh, but I was just expressing to him that I get like driving anxiety. That's all. I was just expressing that. You know what he did? From that day, literally, when it was time for me to leave the office, he went onto the road and then he put his hand out to stop the cars and signaled to me it's okay to come out. And I was like, what is he doing? This is so embarrassing because it was a private matter of me telling him that I have driving anxiety. And now he's like, publicly, everybody in the office can see that he is going out into the road and like stopping the cars so that I can back out of the driveway and go home. This is so embarrassing, right? Because I didn't want other people in the office to know I get driving anxiety. And now it's very obvious that there's something wrong with me and driving. And I just said thank you because yeah, I was able to get out safely. But then he continued to do this like 3 times. He did it 3 times, and I like like 3 different days. And I just said, Adam, please don't do that. I'm really embarrassed. And he said, I just want to make sure you're safe. And then I said, no, 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 it's fine, it's fine. All right, yeah. So this is just me trying to describe just exactly how nice of a man Adam is. Very, very nice, right? But it was after these like incidents at work of him being extremely nice to me, I started getting bullied by the other two women in the office. I Yeah, for some reason suddenly I get the cold shoulder. I start getting passive aggressive treatment. I start getting excluded from things. I don't get invited to anything. Um, they deliberately leave out information that's significant and important to the task that I need to do. And without that information, I would mess up at work because I didn't know, right? They would have like group meetings. And well, I never attended the group meetings because I'm in a different department. I'm in the accounting department, and I'm the only accountant for the whole company. So my only meetings are between me and Adam privately, right? I don't have group meetings with anyone else in the company. It was like that since day one because those other people are in the same department. So they would have group meetings, which is fine. It's normal, right? And there's no company wide meetings either. So they would have like their own departmental group meetings and then they would make a decision on something, which is fine. But then they wouldn't inform me on the decision that they make. So here I am continuing to operate with old processes, old information. They make a decision, and I wouldn't find out about these like decisions they made in their group meetings that affect how I do my work until months later. And then they'd be like, "Well, didn't you know that blah 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 blah?" And I'm like, "Wait, how am I supposed to know? You guys didn't communicate." And it was just in general like it's very hard for me to describe um, what they did. I will point out very specific incidents later in this video when I describe why I'm doing very specific things in Operation Household Name. I will describe very specific bullying scenarios and how they tie into Operation Household Name, okay? Yeah, so anyway, I tried to put up with it for a year and a half, right? I would go into work, I would grin and bear it. I I would just smile. I would act like nothing bothered me, and I would try different tactics. One of the tactics is when someone's being passive aggressive to me or gossiping about someone else in front of my face, I would just hear barking chihuahua. So like when they talk to me, my brain would just replace with like bark 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 bark, right? Like yeah, it helped, but my body started to get very sick. This is around the time when I started posting a lot less consistently and frequently on YouTube. The reason I was posting less consistently is because I was becoming ill from all the treatment at work. And I started getting chronic acid reflux. The reflux was coming up my throat like once a minute at that point, like at its peak. Once a minute, I was getting reflux. Um, Even with over the counter medicine, it wouldn't work. I tried different diets, it wouldn't work. I couldn't figure out what would solve my problem. And I didn't want to be on medicine for the rest of my life. I want to be healthy. I want to live a healthy lifestyle. I want to eat healthy. And medicine, being dependent on it, is not the way to go, right? And so at this point, I just didn't know what to do. And I figured it might be stress. It might be just my body is reacting because I'm very empathic and sensitive to what everyone says and does, right? And so my body is just probably breaking down and overwhelmed and can't take the bullying anymore. And it's just screaming, Annie, please stop. I need help. I need to get away from these women. And I need your attention. And it's like screaming for that attention, like, please, please do something to end this, right? And so at that point, that's when I emailed Adam and I said, hey, remember a year ago when you offered me lunch for 5 days in a row? Well, I would like to finally take you up on that offer because I need to have a meeting with you that's not in this office so no one can hear what we're talking about. I want to have lunch with you and I want to talk to you about the treatment that other women have been giving me at work because up until that point, I never said a single word to him about any of the things that they were doing to me. I just kept it to myself because I didn't believe it was a problem I should put on his shoulders because I thought I could solve my own problems. It's between me and them. Why involve a boss? Yeah, so he emailed back and he said, don't worry. Yes, I will take you out to lunch and I will be there right by your side to support you through everything. So we went to lunch, and he didn't even let me speak. He didn't let me share any of the stories about what the women are doing. He just spoke most of the time, so I didn't get a chance to speak at all, really, about what was happening. But the way he spoke, because he went first, when we were walking to the restaurant, he was already talking, and he said, "Don't let the other woman get to you." So it was as if he actually knew what was going on, even though I never told him what was going on. He said very, very directly, "They're jealous of you. They're jealous of you. Um, but you know what? You're brilliant, and you run circles around them, and they will never be you." And he said that, like, there are two kinds of people in this world. There are people who can solve problems. They can look at a problem and they can get to the root of the problem and figure out what is a permanent solution and never have the same problem ever again. And then there's other people in this world. They look at a problem and then they don't take the initiative and they give band aid solutions and they will always have the same problem. He said, "Everyone else in this office is in the second camp. Annie, you're in the first camp. You look at a problem, you know how to solve it right away, and you just have a brain. You have like a brain that works differently from everyone else. You're not going to fit in, and there's nothing I can say other than that." That's what he said. Like, he just said, "I run circles around everyone and that they can't even light a flame to me. Like, they are nowhere near me in terms of my ability, my potential, competence." And he just said, "You just have to not let it get to you." And I said to him, I said, "I am at my wit's end. My body is breaking down. I have chronic acid reflux. I can't take this anymore. Like, I try so hard to not let it get to me. It's not working. My body is screaming for help. I'm very sick." And so then during lunch, we kept talking about it. And he said, "Why don't I give you a promotion and we can change the culture of the company together?" And so I believed him in that moment when he said that we can change the culture of the company together to be a lot more positive, to be a place where people want to work, to be a place where people could be nicer to each other. Um, but like, I kept following up with him about this for 4 weeks, and I got the hint that he didn't really want to do it. There was no promotion coming. I had 21 ideas on how to improve the culture at his company and how to run it even better than what it was then. And the ideas just sat on his desk for 4 weeks. I was really disappointed. And so I told him, "If you can't solve this problem, I need to work remote." And it was such a sad moment for me because I really liked working in the office together with him because he's just such a nice person. And we worked really well together. And it's really hard to find people in this world where you work really well together. So it's really rare. I know that. Um, so I really, really wanted to be in the office, but my health couldn't take it. I had to be remote so that I could get as far away physically from those women in the office as possible. And then as soon as I went remote and I was able to get my health back on track, it took an entire year after going remote for my health to be restored to normal and for the acid reflux to go away. And I was able to do it without medicine because for me, the source of those problems I was experiencing was definitely like stress. It was like, what's that word? It's like mind induced body illness. Is that the official term? Anyway, mind over matter, right? Yeah. So during that like time when I went remote, I was angry. I was incredibly angry with what happened because I felt like to me, for the first time, I work with someone who's so excited to work with me, who sees my potential, who didn't underestimate me, who believed in me. Like for the first time, I meet someone in the work world who's like part of my tribe, one of my people, right? And two jealous women see someone acting nice to me and then they go nuts, you know? And then they just like try to drive me out physically away from the office so that they don't need to see me anymore. I felt like, you know what it felt like? It felt like, to me, it felt like war, all right? And so in my head, the way I reacted to it is, okay, bitch, you may have won the battle, but I will win the war, you know? To me, like, that's how I took it as because, yeah, I've been abused and bullied and picked on my entire life. I have been abused my whole life. People telling me I would be a nobody, all sorts of criticisms growing up, all of it. And the way I always ended up responding to it was, oh yeah, watch me, you know? So here are these like two women in the office treating me this way. I'm just like, you better watch out. That is my response. Like I almost want to tell them like, you picked on the wrong person. Like I am not a normal woman. All right. I'm young. I'm inexperienced. I'm naive maybe. Um, but I am not your normal target that you target in the workplace. If you target other women, they end up crying and they get in fetal position and then they feel bad about themselves, they feel worthless. You pick on me, I'm just kind of like, really? Really? Like, yeah. And then I end up like concocting a plan to get back at people, right? So already back in 2021, I was thinking about it. And I was initially thinking like the best plan is so for one of them, I was forced to do her bookkeeping for a year. And so I see this is her real estate business. I've talked about this stuff in the channel before. It was inspired by her actually. Those topics about like is it legal for you to uh, put your personal expenses on a business credit card? Thank you, Miss Bully. That topic was thank you to Miss Bully, right? Um, yeah, like that was from her. She was spending personal expenses on her business credit card in her real estate business. She was eating at Panera Bread on a daily basis, and she was calling it a business meal that she had with a business associate. No, bitch. You didn't do that. You're just eating your normal lunch. She would buy groceries at Wegmans, and she would call it like catering for business events. No, those are her groceries for her own personal home. She would go to Home Goods, TJ Maxx slash Home Goods, and she would buy decorations, right, for her house. And she would call it office expense or maintenance supplies. Basically, like treating her business like a personal piggy bank and then a easy way to write off expenses and not pay the taxes to the IRS that you should be paying. And I had every receipt, I had every bank statement. I was the one making the financial reports. And while I was doing this, I was doing it for free. It was not even in my job description to do it for her. I was not hired to do her books, okay? Is I only did it because Adam asked me to. Adam wanted to give this to her as a employment benefit, so I was asked to do it for free as part of her employment benefits of working with him, right? And so when this kind of setup came up, she started treating me like I was her personal assistant, like, hey, Annie, here's your receipts, like treating me like with that kind of like, just a really like, I'm superior to you, I'm your boss now kind of attitude and that kind of tone, and it was just I had such disdain for that. Um, so I told Adam, I said, this setup, I'm not okay doing her books anymore. It better stop, right? If I have to keep doing it for her, and it's not even in my original employment contract. I don't work for her. She's not my boss, right? I'm gonna go. You know, I don't need to take this. I don't need to take these kind of condescending tone from people at work. This is not something I tolerate. So he removed it from the things I needed to do. He did remove it because it's not a battle he wanted to like die on, right? So yeah, I was so angry. You know what I wanted to do as my revenge to that person? I wanted to report her to the IRS. I wanted to whistleblow because why should someone get away with paying little to nothing in income tax to the government and live such a nice life, going to Panera Bread every day for lunch, right? But then when I called up my pastor, I called up all of my close friends and I told them what I wanted to do because I was so angry and they could really feel for me. They understood why I felt this way. I was never mean to them, right? Um, they threw their first punch at me. You know, like when you have like a fight in school on the school playground, the first person throws the punch. Then the person who got punched throws a punch back. Usually the person who threw the punch back gets in trouble, but then why does the person who initiated the whole fight to begin with get to walk away scot-free, right? Um, so they threw the punch at me. I never punched back yet, right? So I told all these people in my life that I really trust for that advice, they all said, don't do it. Don't do it. Do not drag yourself down to their level. They treat you this way. You do this, you are at their level. Annie, you are better than that, okay? It's one thing if you report them because, like, it's not right. And we understand that, like, legally, you are entitled to do that reporting. You have all the receipts, you have all this bank statement and whatever. Um, but that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because of revenge, and that will eat at your heart. And that will take your focus away from building your own life. So it's so you're not doing it just because you're feeling neutral about reporting it. You're doing it because you're angry and trying to get back at someone, and because that is your intent. Like it's not good. It will always come back to hurt you. And they told me like, can you imagine you're doing accounting for people, right? And this is just such a small world where everyone knows everyone. This isn't New York City where there's like 8 to 10 million people living. This is Boston. This it's very easy to for everyone to know everyone and for the stories about your reputation to spread. And if someone finds out that you reported someone to the IRS when you're doing their books, they're never going to trust you to do their accounting again, even if you're like the most talented one, because you have a reputation of snitching on people. Um, so they told me basically, an eye for an eye goes and makes the world blind, right? So I was at a loss for what to do. All right, I'm like, okay, they get to treat me this way, and they get to get away with it. Come on, right? So I decided, if they really say success is the best revenge, let me take it. Let me take the saying success is the best revenge from like a 1 to 10 scale, and I'm going to do this to an 11. All right? I'm just going to like dial this up to an 11. And so what happened was I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to become a household name. I know this is ridiculous, but like the way I was thinking about it, I was like, they don't like the attention that like Adam gave me or anyone else in the office gave me. So I think the solution is to just show up even more. Cause like the whole point was like they were trying to dim me, right? Like dim my light. And I figure like if someone's bullying me, the solution is to smile bigger, stand taller, and then like dream bigger, right? What else is there? There was like a fourth thing I wanted to say that was related to like the smile bigger, dream bigger thing. Um, but I can't think of it right now. Sorry. So yeah, I so then my mind started like going like, what can I do? What can I do? And I realized that I was reading about attraction psychology and things like that online, and then the mindset of women. And, women are really competitive and territorial. And they don't, you see, like, if a man gives a woman attention, if a man's attracted to a woman, give a woman attention, other women looking at this woman get jealous, not because they have a crush on that man and want attention from that man, right? They get jealous because this woman is getting attention. Does that make sense? Like, this is the things that I was reading online back then. So I was like, okay, if it's not because they want attention from that man and want to be that man's favorite in the workplace or whatever, non-dating, non-dating, all right? But it's simply because they're jealous this specific woman is getting more attention, and therefore she is like, I don't know how women think, all right? I don't think like a normal woman. I don't get jealous of other women. When I see someone successful, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. How can I do that too? So I have a really hard time like coming to terms with how people think. Um, but so apparently, like when a woman sees another woman stand out, they get jealous of her and they just want to bring her down. So it's not about the man; it's about the woman stands out. So when I was reading this, I was like, oh, you know, to make them even more pissed, I gotta stand out even more. I need to get even more attention, right? So this is like the reason for the shift that you saw in me over the years, and it's because I was the woman who owned when I first started the YouTube channel about how to save money and how to live on low income, how to barely spend any money. When I first started this channel, I owned only 7 pieces of clothing, and all of my belongings could fit into a suitcase. And I did not care, not one bit, about beauty. To me, beauty is such a superficial thing. People should care about your personality, your character, your integrity. That is far more important than what people see on the outside. Why do people even spend tens of thousands of dollars on beauty? I don't get it. It's such a waste of money. Why not take the same $10,000 and put it toward like a real estate investment, right? Like that logically makes a lot more financial sense. At least that's what I was thinking in my head, right? Why do you waste your money on something that is just so fleeting? Beauty is so fleeting, all right? Like people get older. Beauty is fleeting. Just be happy with how you are. But because I just wanted to like get attention to piss those women off, I started taking the money, some of the money in my budget, and I started dedicating it toward looking more attractive. All right? That's the reason why I started doing it. It's not because like, oh, suddenly I have a lot more money and now all these things that I always wanted. I never cared for this stuff before that. I always wanted this, so now I'm going to spend all this money looking attractive. It was not like that. I did not care. All I wanted to was make those women pissed, you know? So I paid what I started doing was this is Operation Household Name, right? Phase one is to get attention from the men in the office. That is literally phase one. It's to get the attention from the men in the office, to get compliments from the men, to get help, and to make the men talk to me very nice. And there's people, even like before I did stage one of looking more attractive, and going into the office for attention. Um, there was actually a man, my coworker in the office. He would come in 2 to 3 times a week. He would cook me bacon, eggs, and toast. I'm not kidding you. Like he would come in and he would start cooking, and he would just hand me a plate of fruit. And yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why the women were so jealous of me because men are really nice to me. And I told him like that this isn't really healthy and that I actually prefer to eat smoothies early in the morning. So then you know what he started doing? He started like bringing fruits and vegetables and protein powder to the office, and he started like blending. He brought a blender. He started blending smoothies for me in the office and would just hand it to me like here. And then when I would tell him like I'm really full, no, no, it's okay, you don't need to make it. No, no, I insist. I want to make you a smoothie. It turned out that like actually I found out maybe 4 years later, 4 years in, I found out that he had a crush on me the whole time. Of course, I was so oblivious. I didn't know. I just thought he was being extremely nice, but he actually had a crush on me. But yeah, like I even had when we ended up hiring an assistant, and I told him one day that like I was only gonna head into the office for 1 hour that day because I wasn't feeling well. I was feeling really really sick, but I already had a scheduled meeting, so I'm gonna head in for a meeting. But what was it? The meeting was like from 8 to 9 a.m. in the morning, and then I was just gonna head home and call in sick, right? And but my assistant doesn't start till 9. He was apparently rushing to the office because he made me soup. So sweet. He made me like this homemade Vietnamese soup from scratch that people in Vietnam normally eat when they're sick. And he said, "Oh, Annie, I was rushing to work trying to make sure I catch you. I made this soup for you because I want you to get better." And I was like panicking that I wouldn't make it here in time. So I even took an Uber to work just to make sure I got here in time to get you. It was really sweet. Like the men in the office are really, really sweet to me. Yeah, so I had concocted this plan to look more attractive so that I could, that was phase one, look more attractive. And I'm finished with that phase, by the way. And I'm going to talk all about that phase in like future videos about how to deal with bullying in the office when you actually work in an office and how to look more attractive and piss those women off. Yeah, but then there's phase two. Phase two of Operation Household Name is modeling. So, yes, I went to modeling school because I realized I couldn't help job seekers stand taller and walk more confidently into their job interview because it's a very physical thing and I didn't have that skill set. But the second, like, unknown reason why I enrolled in modeling school is remember how I just said earlier that this woman was going to Panera Bread and doing all of this stuff, personal expenses. Well, because of that, I know the places where she shops the most, right? Like, okay, so it's Target, TJ Maxx Home Goods, Wegmans, and Panera Bread. And then also Kohl's because she buys a lot of stuff on Amazon and she also returns a lot of stuff to Amazon. And she returns it at Kohl's. So these like 5 places. And I was thinking to myself, okay, she hates my face. Like she hates seeing me in the office. Every time I went in the office and I said, "Hey, great morning," thinking like if I just be really cheerful and smiling and say good morning, like really happy, it would change the way people treated me because you treat others the way you want to be treated, or at least that's what I've been taught. But no, like every time I said, "Hey, good morning," she would like roll her eyes like, like, I'm too good to talk to. Do you even exist? Like, she would give me that kind of attitude when I said good morning. It's just so rude and nasty. So I thought to myself, like, oh, yeah, you don't want to see me in the office. I work remote now, so you don't have to see me in the office. But don't you worry. I will make sure I have my face. You see my face in the places where you shop the most. So that's phase two. All right. I got signed with a modeling agency last year. So I'm implementing phase two. I did a modeling job last month successfully, and then 2 days ago, I did an audition with TJ Maxx. So that's pretty exciting. But the audition wasn't for an advertising campaign, so it's not for like pictures in their store. The audition is for internal training videos for customer service. So it's different, but if I get the job, that would be gold because like that's like my way of making contacts with the advertising and marketing department with TJ Maxx. And thank goodness TJ Maxx is like headquartered right here in Massachusetts. So they're local. Oh my gosh, right? Yeah, so I'm on my way. Like I'm making this happen. I'm gonna make sure my face is at those 5 stores where she sees me. All right. And then there's phase three is the acting. So I don't just want my face in the places where she's shopping. I want her to turn on Netflix at home. She's gonna like chill out on the sofa and turn on Netflix, and she's gonna see my face in her home. And suddenly, all the popular shows that she would have normally wanted to watch, she's gonna see my face pop up in that trailer, and she's oh, her? What's she doing here? Right? I want my face over there, invading her personal privacy. You don't want to see my face in the office, but you'll see my face on TV, honey. Okay? That's phase three, right? And then the next one is what do I want to do? Yeah, I wanted to do podcasts. So I wanted to start a new podcast, and I wanted to invite like people who are extremely successful, very famous, self-made, or whatever, like just very famous in their field in general, who have a large following. And I want to ask them, have you been bullied at work? And how did you handle it? So it's not just me, but like I want to like it's not just for me. This part of doing the podcast is I want to like create a whole like tribe and a whole community of people who have been abused, bullied, picked on at work, but who, with the content from the podcast and things like that, they learn how to deal with it. They learn how to step into their personal power, just like I did, right? Instead of like crying about it, because I had heard that um, one of the this is so sad. There was one of them, one of my ex coworkers, right? She is 40 years old. She started working under one of the bullies, and they bullied her. She went home crying. She would go home and cry every day. And that is just so sad. I had no idea she was going home crying and that she was so sensitive. I think in the whole 6 years that they bullied me, I only cried once. So, yeah, I only cried once. I never really like felt kicked down by them, but other people do. I spoke to the men. There were two men who worked under one of the bullies as well. I spoke with them after they got fired, and they told me, Annie, I have never worked with women like this before. Like, she is on a whole other level. I need to go to therapy. They were literally telling me they need to go to therapy for this. This is like grown men. And yeah, so I want to create like a whole comprehensive library on how to step into your personal power despite how much people hate you and treat you poorly, and how to just like tune out all that noise and focus on your life and live it and be successful. I want to use it to lift people up. I'm not like other people. I don't want to push them down. I want to lift people up. So that's the podcast. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Ex Bully, because I don't work there anymore. Thank you, Miss Ex Bully, for giving me some purpose here and let me turn this was it lemons into lemonade. The other thing I wanted to do was a Netflix show, right? So that went in with the acting. So I wanted to do the acting, but I also wanted to do the Netflix show. That's separate. That's because Miss Garcia was just such a mean person to me in high school. She told me that I would always be a nobody, and she gave me such bad like career advice, like telling me to borrow $40,000 for a bachelor's degree in yoga. Like, come on, really? And so I already decided this goal. I had already decided when I was 16 to 18 years old, not that I would do a Netflix show of my own about job search, but I had already determined between 16 to 18 years old that like you how many people were in her 30, 30, 30, 30, 120. She was in charge of 120 students per year in her guidance counseling, right? And so back then, to me, 120 people was a lot, okay, a year. Um, I had determined that I will reach more people with my career advice than she ever will. And I will give career advice that will actually work. And I will give advice that will, if not like give you like give advice that involving education that would allow you to not borrow any student loan debt to achieve the career goal that you want to achieve. Or if the student loans are necessary, I will give advice on how to minimize that to the best of your ability. So I made that determination. And I think the Netflix show is just one of the things, right? I wrote the 5 day job search. That was my middle finger to Miss Garcia. And I am going to keep doing this. I'm still going to help people with their job search. That's my middle finger to her. I have helped more people in the job search than already all the people she has helped, right? But I just want this to go so big. And the Netflix show is just like one thing on that path. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Garcia. You can see like a lot of the things I do is basically like just uh, like payback, but I don't do the payback in a way that hurts me. I do the payback in a way that like let me create this amazing thing, right? What else did I wanted to do in the next 10 years? Ah, workwear. So, if I do all the acting and the modeling and then the Netflix show, I mean, at that point, I would assume that people already know me, right? I would have some level of fame. I don't know how much fame, but some level of fame. And at that point, that's the best time to sell people stuff. So I'm gonna sell people stuff. I don't want to just like sell people courses and books. I want to sell merchandise, right? So I was thinking like, what is something that I could sell people and turn it into a business and make money? I want to do workwear. I like to sew. I want to do workwear, um, and makeup, affordable makeup that looks good. Annie Yang brand. And for the workwear specifically, so this is the part about a very specific bullying incident. So during the pandemic, when COVID broke out, I sewed 425 masks. I asked people to donate me fabric, right? And I have sewing skills because I was born poor. I couldn't afford to buy clothes, so I had to sew my own clothes, right? And at that point, I was like, wow, I can actually chip in because even if you have money, you can't buy a mask. You have to know somebody who knows how to make a mask. I was someone who knew how to make a mask. And so I made 425 of them. I spent 100 hours doing it. I never, now I did make a YouTube video about it, right? But you don't see me going posting on like social media like, woohoo, look how many I did, validate me. When I do things for people and I'm generous, I don't look for validation. I don't want the validation. I actually like prefer to keep my donation quiet. Um, that's just the way I like to do things. I don't like to be very loud with that kind of stuff. So I made the 425 mask. I spent so much time doing it. I did not drop them off at the nonprofit. Um, the nonprofit was collecting it at the Dorchester Stitch House in Boston. Was it? Yeah, it's called the Stitch House in Dorchester in Boston. All right. Um, the person running it was like collecting it there because they offer sewing classes there. So they just thought it would be a good drop off location. And I didn't want my face, my name to be shown. I didn't want any credit. I would just prefer to be anonymous. So I gave 2 or 3 whole trash bag full of fabric masks to Adam. I said, Adam, you're in Dorchester a lot. It's only 10 minutes away from one of the job sites that you're working at. Can you just drop this off? He said, sure, no problem. So I assumed the mask made it there safe, right? But one of the bullies at work, keep in mind, I gave everyone at work 2 masks. There was such a shortage. Everyone needed a mask. I gave everyone not one, but 2. Everyone got 2, including my bullies. they got two. So even though they weren't nice to me, I gave them two. All right. Um, one of the bullies, she took, she went through the bag and she took some extra for herself. I didn't know this. All right. And then a few months later, so this is now several months into the pandemic, where a lot of people could just buy masks on Etsy, right? She ended up hiring an assistant because she had more workload, so she got to hire an assistant. And the first day on the job, it's 9 a.m. in the morning. So I have this new coworker. I'm sitting at my desk, I'm working. And then she says, Megan, I have a gift for you to celebrate your first day on the job. And I turn around because I'm curious. I wonder what this gift is. She takes a fabric mask out. What is this fabric mask? I made that fabric mask. I recognize my own work. It's a white mask. It's a trifold mask because there was different shapes, right? Mine was the one that had trifolds on it. It had my elastic band on it. It had my nose piece here. I did a double seam here, right? I can recognize my own work. All right. She takes it out. I got you this mask on Etsy. I bought it just for you. I picked it out for you. I thought it was pretty cute. And it's handmade. And Megan wore that mask around the office for many months. I never told Megan I was the seamstress of that mask. I was livid. All right. So not only these girls at work, they like to be mean and passive aggressive in the work setting. They take something that I personally made outside of work. It's not work related. And they try to take credit away from something I did outside of work. I didn't know how to respond to that. I was very, very angry. And I was thinking about it for a very long time. How do I get back for that incident? And I've decided I'm going to make workwear. I'm going to design clothes. I'm going to sew clothes. And, you know, everyone's going to know I am the master seamstress here. All right? It's not somebody else. I am the seamstress. I am so good at sewing, I can make clothes. All right? That's the idea. And with the workwear, right? What I'm thinking is if it's suits for job interviews, like, job seekers who need an outfit to head into their job interview, if they wear like a suit of mine, then it would have a logo or a monogram, right? So it's very identifiable. And if it becomes like really popular and this is like a movement that just sweeps the whole country, then that would be really cool if a job seeker walked into a job for an interview with one of my bullies and they see, oh, she's wearing an Annie Yang suit. Wouldn't that be nice, right? And then there's the name of this clothing line. I was even thinking, like, what can I name it? I was thinking I would name it Grumpy 77. So the other bully at work who was so mean to me, her Amazon password is Grumpy 77. So that's capital G, capital R, lowercase UMPY 77. I don't know why. When I first heard it, I was like, what? So does she know she's grumpy and she's like proud of it to the point that like she sets this as her Amazon password? It was really bizarre to me. Um, but if it's an insider information that only she knows, it's her password, and nobody knows that it's her specific password, I'm free to use it, right? So I'm just gonna make the clothing line and I'm gonna trademark this. And if she gets pissed and angry and she wants to sue me, I mean, she's basically just revealing who she is, right? I did not name her. I did not tell anybody any personally identifying information about her other than that she's a woman working in real estate, right? Um, so nobody actually knows the actual name of the bully, But if she wants to sue me for using Grumpy77 as a name for like a product line, then go ahead. She's just revealing herself to be the bully, Annie's bully, right? Yeah. And then speaking engagements. I've been talking about that for a long time, and I really wanted to create like community, right? So I this is just a, an add-on bonus. I just thought it would be really cool if like I gave speaking engagements and I went on a tour in the United States and I could sell out like a whole arena or stadium of people who wanted to watch me speak, right? Listen to me talk. And if they could all come in wearing like Annie Yang merchandise, that would be really cool. One of the things that I did to get the attention of men in stage one of Operation Household Name was I wore really fun socks, very, very bright, attention grabbing socks. So then, like, when I went into the office, you look me up and down, your eyes just like gravitate toward the socks. And yeah, I was like doing that intentionally. I would even like match the rest of my outfit to be the same color as the socks as well, to be very stylish. And um, apparently, one of the bullies at work, because I was remote at this point, one of the bullies at work was actually talking bad about me behind my back and saying very mean things about me. And I was remote, so I didn't really get to know any of my coworkers. But apparently, because I came in so cheerful, like, hey, good morning, everyone. Like, when I went in, I acted very cheerful, extremely cheerful, just to piss those women off and wear those socks. One of the men would say, yeah, but did you see how cool Annie's socks were today? Like, every time, like, they threw shade at me, like, this man was just like, yeah, but you see her socks? So what I envision is like I talk about on this channel. I'm gonna talk about how wearing cool socks is gonna help you step into your power when dealing with a bully at work, and why you should wear cool socks. And we're gonna make this into like a nationwide trend, right? And what we could do is like at these events we wear really cool socks, and I don't know. It's just really cool. It's like a way to have solidarity, right? What I'm really looking for is my kind of people. All right, my kind of people. And if the people who love me and my future content, my old content too, really like the socks. I mean, I just want that connection. Really, that would be really really cool. And it'd be really cool if you mailed me some socks. I'm a size 7, woman's shoe size 7. You can mail it to P.O. Box 505149, Chelsea, Massachusetts 02150. If you mail me a pair of socks, I'm going to find a way to pair it with a really stylish outfit that's going to match the socks, and I'm going to take a picture and tag you. Thank you. Um, yeah, so what step in the phase is that? I don't even remember. Anyway, and then I think the last phase is just to get back at this is coming back to Miss Garcia. This was actually like planned also when I was in my early 20s, so it hasn't come true yet, but it is definitely in the back of my mind. I want to go back to my alma mater and like for high school and give the commencement speech, because I was really angry with Miss Garcia. Miss Garcia still works there. Can you believe that? Can you believe that like in her entire guidance counseling career, she's only had 2 jobs, and she is giving ad- guidance counseling advice. She hardly has ever had to look for a new job. She just stays put. She's the kind of person like valuing security, safety, steadiness, doesn't like risk at all. She is that kind of person. And I think she's just going to work there until she's 67 or 69 and a half, and then that's it, the same school, and then she's going to retire and live a very bland life post retirement. Yeah, so I have some time. My plan was to donate, like, I'm going to become very wealthy, right, by the end of all of this. And my plan was to donate several $1 million to Brooklyn Technical High School. And then I was going to, like, give money to and ask the principal to please select Miss Garcia to invite me and host, invite me onto the stage at the graduation speech. So then I could give the graduation speech talking about how I guess I didn't turn out to be a nobody after all. Operation Household Name. Okay. I normally would tell people, keep your plans to yourself, keep your goals to yourself. I have been keeping all of this Operation Household Name to myself for the last 5 years, but I've been like slowly chipping away at it. But I'm okay with talking about these plans now because a lot of it is coming true. I didn't actually, sometimes you dream so big, you're delusional, you're crazy. How is it, it's just a fantasy. How's it even gonna happen? But yeah, I can't believe I'm on my way, you know? I'm actually on my way. I signed with the modeling agency. I did one modeling job last month. I did a commercial last weekend. I was an extra, so easy job. All I did on the camera was shake hands with the attorney for an attorney commercial. And it's only local. It's only gonna um, be published for New Hampshire and Maine local TV. But that's my first TV job, right? So we have to start somewhere. So I was an extra, no speaking lines, nothing. Um, but yeah, it's coming together. I'm on my way. And last year, was it last year? No, it was 2 years ago. It was in 2024. 2 years ago, Hank Norman, he was a producer for a TV show, and he was the one who reached out to me, right? And he was the guy behind helping make Mel Robbins big and Grant Cardone big. So they're not household names, but they're well-known names in their industry. Grant Cardone and Mel Robbins. And his company reached out to me 2 years ago, and they said that they wanted to help me. And then I was like, what do you even see in me? I don't see anything in me. I don't see anything special. And he said, let me show you what I see in you. And he played one of the YouTube videos of me walking around my neighborhood and talking about how, like, you gotta take that rejection, the motivation and advice. I'm just going for a walk in my neighborhood, holding my iPhone here and then talking to you guys on the camera. And he said, you have natural talent. Do you know how many people I have to coach them how to have a talent like yours to just talk to the camera and be really authentic and real? But no matter how much I coach them, they're not as good as you, and you have no coaching whatsoever. He said, I'm really, really authentic on the camera. And that's something that just cannot be taught. And he said, the moment he saw that, he knew I would be big. And I asked him, do you think I could do a Netflix show one day? He said, I do think so. So, I mean, these are like people in the industry who actually think so. And then back in November, there was a PR agency that only does PR in mainstream media. So we're talking about like Time Magazine, Business Insider, Forbes, big, the big publications, right? They reached out to me and they said, we think we can get you into mainstream media. They reached out to me, but they were trying to sell me, right? They said, normally people come to us and they have a lot of money, right? Business clients have a lot of money and they're looking to do PR for their business because they either want brand awareness or they want more sales coming into their business. And we look at them and we tell them, like, we're really sorry, this is going to be a difficult job because you don't have existing online content, you don't have a brand, you don't have a reputation online. So we're literally starting from scratch And these publications, they want people who are already well known, right? Uh, but they reached out to me and they said, we found you and we don't have to do all that like hard work like we have to do with everyone else. You already built so much of it that you're just such an easy pitch. An easy pitch. And we can target the easier publications first, and then we can target then when we get traction, we can get momentum and target the more prestigious ones that are harder to get into. And they said that unlike a traditional PR agency where they charge you, they only charge me for services until after successful results. So like if they're trying to get me into like let's say Business Insider and they can't get me into there, I don't have to pay anything basically. So they're the ones spending the time to do it and I only have to pay them after there's actually results. So that basically means that like they're not interested in you unless they actually see something going here, right? So yeah, that's the update. I am on my way. And how long is this? I don't even know. But yeah, I talked a lot, but what I want to do, because people apparently want to see the journey and the behind the scenes, I actually want to go. I wanted to do the modeling series. Like, I had a plan for me applying to modeling agencies, and I was like flashing out that series. But I think what I'm gonna do is for the videos after this, I'm going to go back to actually stage one. I'm gonna make videos about stage one and then work up to like where I am now. And then when we are caught up, then I will start posting more as present. But like for those videos where I'm doing the catch up, you're gonna see videos of me like talking like when I did this, blah blah blah, like retroactive basically. Yeah, so that's the plan. Allison, long time no talk. Chelsea, hope you enjoyed. You always watch my videos. Thank you. Thank you for telling me not to worry about if other people find me intimidating. You like me just as I am. I want to thank you for being so supportive. I want to thank you for watching my videos all these years. And especially, oh, Allison, what I wanted to say as well is, I haven't, because I'm so infrequent in my posting, and the reason why is because I'm working so hard at my dreams, and all these other people on social media, they get to like post a lot more frequently, and they post very consistently, and the reason why is because they've turned being a content creator into their full-time living. Like they make a living doing that versus me, I don't make a living doing this. Um, I don't want to be called a content creator. I want to be called everything else. You see, like all these things I'm doing, I want to be called model. I want to be called actress. I want to be called public speaker. I want content creation to just be the marketing that pushes all the others, right? If that makes sense. So that's why I'm not that frequent. I don't see myself as influencer or any of that stuff. Um, so that also explains like why I'm so infrequent, because I was working so hard toward Operation Household Name all these years, right? But I got fired from my job, so I will be posting a lot more frequently now because I have just so much free time to dedicate to this passion of mine. And oh yeah. What I really wanted to say was like, you know, when when my favorite content creators like that I like to watch often, when they stop posting, for instance, I don't really even notice that they stop posting. In my head, like in my radar, like they just drop off the radar, and I never think of them again, unless I happen to like somehow remember, right? So seeing that I haven't posted in a long while, so definitely my content is not showing up on your news feed. Allison, I wanted to say thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for going back to some of my old videos anyway and commenting and reaching out, because that's telling me that it's not the algorithm that's like just pushing you. Like you actually like me enough to want to keep coming back and check in. um, that means so much because, someone's attention is just so precious. So I just wanted to say I'm really grateful to you, Allison. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, I'll see you in my future video. Bye.